Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about NIO. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today we're going to be talking about NIO, and the main question I'm going to be answering in today's video is NIO stock due for a pullback? Is NIO stock going to crash? Is NIO stock overvalued? And a lot of investors lately have been wondering, NIO has kind of been trading sideways and really hasn't had that many green days lately, and the stock has kind of been falling. And a lot of people are wondering, is NIO stock due for a correction? Is the stock going to crash? I think everybody needs to understand that, yes, stocks in general, they're going to have their red days, they're going to have their green days, and, stocks, part of their daily routine is fluctuating, right? But for me, I do think that NIO stock is probably going to be due for a correction. I mean, the stock, looking at the one-year chart, grew 1,156% in the year of 2020, so it's pretty normal for these stocks to have a correction. But really taking a look at it, corrections and stocks falling and stocks crashing and stuff like that, it doesn't necessarily really mean the end of the stock itself. I usually always take the opportunity and actually love to buy the dip on stocks when this actually does happen. If NIO stock were to have a correction, I think it would be no more than about 10 to 15%. And really taking a look at it from the bigger perspective, people have to understand that, if the stock does correct or the stock does crash, take the opportunity, buy the dip on the stock if you believe and you are truly bullish on the overall sentiment of the stock. NIO is a luxury EV company based out of China. It's leading the luxury EV brand. It's really grown a lot over the last couple of years. But with recent news, NIO stock actually has not been doing too well in itself, right? Citibank downgraded the stock from a buy to a hold, which is not a huge deal in itself, in my personal opinion. I don't think that really has to do with much, but when a big-time analyst downgrades the stock, people like Citibank or Bank of America or Deutsche Bank, if they ever downgrade the stock, it is a big deal because you want to understand the reasoning behind why they actually downgraded the stock. Yes, NIO had an amazing run-up in the year of 2020. I do expect the same from NIO in the year of 2021. I do expect a lot of growth and expansion, but Citibank downgrading the stock is not the biggest deal, but it's always something you always have to put in consideration. It's probably part of the reason why NIO stock did not trade so well in the last few trading sessions. And taking a look at a few other aspects, another big one is NIO taking out a lot of debt. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, when companies want to expand, they want to grow, they want to start, producing more vehicles, they want to start putting more money into perfecting their technology and their brand in itself, it does cost a lot of money. And how do companies get over this? By taking out a lot of debt. NIO taking out $1.3 billion in debt. It's a lot of money, but in my opinion, I think it's what NIO needed to do. It's a justified reason, but people taking this as the company is not making enough money to be able to expand and produce vehicles on their own. So that was kind of another reason on why the stock fell. And another reason, actually, what, in my personal opinion, why I think the stock fell, and this is probably the biggest reason, is because one of the co-founders of NIO who left the company back in 2019 was actually appointed CEO of a different EV company known as Foxconn, which probably did lead to a little bit of sell-off on the stock in itself. $50, currently sitting right now $57.87. He probably knows how to build a EV company from the ground up. He really did help NIO grow to be a great and big company. So Jack Chang, being appointed CEO of a different EV company could potentially propose a threat. But for me, I think another reason why the stock actually did fall was just due to the simple fact that Tesla's expansion into China is getting a lot more rampant. Tesla, being a more established brand, is going to propose a threat on NIO. But the reason why I actually am not really too worried about NIO crashing or NIO having a correction in itself, because not only does it give me the opportunity to actually buy more of the stock in itself, but really taking a look of how much NIO has actually grown and how much NIO still has left to grow. I'm not really too worried about the day-to-day fluctuations or even really the week-to-week fluctuations. Even taking a look at the one-year chart here, we have seen the fluctuations of NIO throughout its trading history, and really taking a look at it, I mean, the stock goes up and down. That's just how stocks actually do. If people are actually invested in the stock and not really in the stock to flip for pennies, then the long-term investment and the long-term sentiment is there for NIO stock. NIO stock is going to grow for a very long time, just due to the simple fact that NIO is in a very explosive market. NIO's vehicles are getting better and better. They're working on self-autonomous driving technology, trying to perfect the self-driving chip, and they're also dropping out a whole new line of vehicles Really taking a look of how NIO's sales have started to progress. NIO's sales are getting better and better. In November, they sold 5,000 vehicles. In December, they sold 7,000 vehicles. And in the January deliveries that we're probably going to get at the end of the month, I know that NIO is probably going ahead and beat its delivery estimates, and that's kind of what people are going to start looking for as far as NIO goes in itself, is how is NIO expanding? Like I said, NIO having plans to expand to Europe in the middle of this year, 2021. So really taking a look at it, this is where NIO actually needs to perform. A lot of people do think that NIO stock is overvalued, 20 times overvalued than what their actual sales are producing. So I do think that NIO's main goal right now should be expanding their sales as much as possible, trying to get as many cars on the road as they can, and really focusing on combating Tesla's expansion into China. And NIO is doing a very great job of doing this, of combating Tesla's expansion into China. The battery swap station is probably one of the more innovative ideas in my personal opinion. The fact that, NIO drivers can stop by any of these stations, swap out a battery in just 3 minutes and continue on their way is not only super innovative, but it's also very game-changing to the EV industry in itself. And NIO is also dropping an ET7 sedan, which is a very good thing because NIO currently does not sell any sedans, it's only SUVs, and they also plan on dropping a whole new vehicle line as well. Taking a look at some other cool factors that NIO does have going for itself is the bigger and better battery, which is another huge catalyst in the EV game. Really taking a look at it, I do think that NIO stock is going to climb for a very long time, but I also do think that NIO stock is due for a correction. I think the stock could fall 10%, but nobody knows when that is going to happen, and it may never happen, but a lot of people love to take profits as well, start exploring other options, really start putting their money into different types of investments. And that's also okay, really taking a look at it. If you're an investor, you always want to diversify your portfolio. But whether NIO stock crashes or not, it's not going to change my bullish sentiment on the stock in itself, just due to the simple fact that NIO stock is growing at astounding rates. NIO stock is playing its part, trying to expand as fast as possible, trying to really upgrade their technology, trying to get more cars on the road, expanding their product line, and taking on more debt so they can start hitting, different types of markets. Right now they're expanding to Europe. Hopefully they're going to hit the US markets as well. And that's really what's going to put NIO on the map. And just know that there's always going to be room for more than just one top EV company. NIO currently being the top EV company out of its Chinese competitors, Li Auto and XPeng. NIO is doing very, very well for itself as far as sales, as far as the share price in itself, and really putting itself on the radar, backed by a lot of big time analysts as well. JP Morgan has a $75 price target on NIO, along with Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank and Bank of America. All these big time analysts are super, super bullish on NIO stock, and there's a reason for that. NIO has seen large amounts of growth, and I don't think that growth is going to stop in the year of 2021. Yes, we may have corrections along the way, but that's not going to change the overall bullish sentiment behind NIO and what NIO is actually providing as a company. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of NIO stock. Do you think NIO stock is worth a buy at $57.82? Do you guys think NIO stock is due for a correction? If you guys own NIO stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.